Good evening, everyone. My name is Anita Kijanka. I'm the president of Strong Women in IT, and today is our first webinar of Strong Women in IT in 2024. So to talk about this year, we decided to open the discussion about the trends, the future trends of the future, and but if these are trends or just the future right now is. We invited wonderful guests, experts in their field, to talk about the trends, technology trends and challenges. So without further ado, let me introduce great speakers that will share with us today the knowledge, the experience, how they see the development of technology right now, how they see this technology will be used by the business. So let me introduce you Zora Holla, Power Technical Sales Leader, NCEE Global Sales Cloud Platform Sales, IBM Quantum Ambassador. Oh, long introduction. Hello, Zora. Mateusz Majewski, Area Vice President, Southeast Europe at UiPath.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And Kinga Piecuch, Managing Director of Hewlett Packard Enterprise Poland.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Let me please start with Kinga because of your situation. I will give you the voice right now because you will have some announcement.
Yes. I would like, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. But as you can hear, my voice and general state is not very good. Yesterday, we thought with Anita that I will be able to continue and to join you today and also share my perspective on the topic that you presented, Anita. Unfortunately, the illness caught me and I cannot. So I would like to thank you. I would like to apologize very, very much for that. But I have very good news that I was able to ask my colleague from the board of HPE Poland, Magda Kasiewicz, who is really amazing expert in cloud computing, but she is also managing AI for HPE in Poland. She's very experienced leader from Microsoft globally. She used to work worldwide for Microsoft for the last many years. So I hope that you will really, I know that you will really like it even more than what I'm gonna share with you. But I wanted, and we agreed with Anita, that I want to apologize personally that I cannot continue. So all the best, and really, I'm very unhappy that I can't be with you, but I'm sure that you will have a great time now. So thank you very much, and welcome, Magda. Thank you for replacing me.
Thank you, Kinga, for kind words.
Thank you, Kinga.
And hello, everyone.
Okay, so Magda, hello, Magda. So maybe let's start about talking about what are you doing? What's your job? What's the job behind your title? And Kinga, you've been just introduced by Magda, you've just been introduced by Kinga, but let me tell us more about what's your daily work? What are you doing?
Yeah. Of course. I recently joined HPE and joined the Kinga's team, and I am responsible for hybrid cloud solutions. So actually, I am responsible for edge to cloud solutions by HPE and for sales specifically, and also including AI solutions. So directly into this topic.
Thank you. Zora, what does it mean, Quantum Ambassador? Can you tell us more about your work? What are you doing? Because I know that quantum computing is not the only field you are working on.
Right. So my primary job is to lead the team of technical pre-sales experts on our hardware platform named Power. So I'm on the hardware side. But at the same time, I'm also a member of a group of so-called quantum ambassadors. So you need to fulfill certain prerequisites to be invited for that program, and then you can sort of evangelize the quantum computing technology across, well, in my case, it's territory of North, Eastern, and Central Europe.
Thank you. We as Strong Women in IT promote women. We show them, but we also invite men to the table to show also their perspective. So Mateusz, I am happy that you join us to share with us what are you doing in UiPath and what's your perspective of the future of technology? Please tell us more. What are you doing?
Thanks, Anita, for invitation, and welcome everyone on this beautiful webinar. I think the topics is very hot, and I'm privileged to be a part of the crew here as the panelists. What I'm doing in UiPath, I'm leading a go-to-market organization for Southeastern European region. At UiPath, that's the cluster of 23 countries. Leading an amazing team, diverse and inclusive team who is trying to make a difference on the market on that automation and AI front. And I think, as you probably know a bit, the story of UiPath from this unicorn, a startup right now to the enterprise software space. It was a journey, and we are enjoying this every moment. And I think the hype right now we have around AI is the right place for us to be and be able to advise the customers on that journey.
Thank you. Last year, we published our third report of Strong Women in IT. And our report tells us that trends are something that shape our businesses. Let us understand where to put our money, attention, and time. And one of them were AI, quantum computing, and cybersecurity. But Magda, what type of trends you see in your business? And what especially you put your efforts in this year, in 2024? What's your goal for this year when it comes to trends?
So actually, my goal is whatever customers' goal are. So of course, there is a huge focus on revenue streams as well, and new revenue streams, but also to increase productivity, of course. But I would say it's many things happening since last year. And of course, there is more and more data, what is going on the market, where is the revenue actually connected with AI. And of course, this main revenue comes into the technology area, software development, customer experience around the retail. But there is like tons of scenarios that we can see in AI. And I would say we can say that there is a lot of them, but I think also that we should think about AI not as a trend, but more as a tool that will stay with us. It's kind of capability that is with us, and we can use it everywhere. And of course, how much we use to be still productive and be sustainable as well, because this is also an important topic. But this is our tool. It's like our partner right now. I would like to think it as a human partner to do some better things. For me personally, I would say health industry is super interesting in terms of, like medical research, diagnosis, tons of different scenarios. And I think it's because of the amount of data and amount of money that we invest there will be, I think, a big changes there. But right now everyone is actually piloting. We have many customers, trying. But I think the focus is mainly on the customer experience and increasing productivity. So automation, different kind of this. But software development, this is like something that started last year already. There is a lot of companies that actually automated the software development, and this is the from the research companies, this is the stream where there is the biggest impact on revenue right now. Mm-hmm. The other one is marketing as well. But yeah, it's tons of different scenarios. So it's everywhere. As you said, it's right now with us.
Mateusz, last week you participated in the big event you had, like UiPath in Las Vegas. You've mentioned before we open our discussion here that you are full of still atmosphere with you about the knowledge you talk about the future connected with AI and automation. So tell us in a nutshell what you've been discussing in Las Vegas and what type of trends you see when it comes to 2024.
Sure, absolutely. The main theme of the conference was actually AI at work that works. So we have the vision, as Magda, you mentioned, the capabilities that AI brings. You can implement them every day, on your everyday, every task almost, and every industry, every segment. So this is not divided or directed only to the enterprises, but actually I feel we're going to implement AI across the businesses and in our private life. But what we observe is we are trying to be connected somehow to the business processes. At the end of the day, what we do, that have a certain meaning, we should be able to use technology to do it a little bit more effectively, and this is where the AI is shaping right now, I feel. But as you mentioned, Magda, I think there are certain industries that are picking up the AI much faster. So of course, where the technology dominates, like banking, insurances, it's not today, it's many years back already. AI is in their premises, and actually they are using AI and models and large language models in a best way they could. But I think what we need to say right now, this technology improved significantly over the last years. So we see that capabilities of recognition, image, text, and etc. improved significantly in the last year, actually. So the models that we are presenting right now are much more accurate. This is what we are using at UiPath into many solutions that we are offering to the market. So technology evolves, but we are adopting as well. So we are launching very soon the autopilot and series of autopilots for developers, for personal assistants, and many others, which will be this digital twin next to us that could help us in a repetitive, I would say, not productive task that we still need to deliver, and humans can focus a little bit more on something more meaningful and more productive. But those trends we are seeing as a big elements into the businesses. On the other hand, we all probably observe the shortage of talent on the market. We would love to, and many companies would love to develop faster, would love to expand. But actually, if you look outside, there is a shortage. There is a shortage of skills. There is a shortage of capabilities. And I think AI can help and automation a lot in bridging that gap. But at the end of the day, many companies, because of the inflation crisis and what we see outside, they are looking at the bottom line as well. So they try to cut down the cost a bit and find more efficient ways to do the things and realize the certain strategies. And I think this is the combination where I feel AI and automation will go to. So it will not be only a buzzword that currently it is on the market that is picking up, but there will be a practical usage of that AI. And this is what we are trying to work and establish at the large enterprise case, but as well in the very small, I would say SMB business, where customer can simply pick up a very practical, tangible solution and implement. But how will this have an impact on our personal life? I think huge. Because of the velocity how we see this trend is shaping right now. The things we couldn't do with the ChatGPT a year ago, we can do right now. The test that it performs on the even high school tests is just amazing. So the technology evolved in the right direction, but I think many things needs to happen around. I think, Anita, you mentioned this trust to AI. We call it at UiPath responsible AI. I think we have some first legislation at the EU level with the AI Act, but I think that there is a required much bigger debate about the trust, capabilities itself, security elements, and cybersecurity elements into the broader usage of technology. So pretty much the natural wave of maturing technologies. If I compare that to other technologies that were entering the market, the same wave is occurring, but I think it's just happening much faster. No one actually expected that adoption of AI will be that fast as it is. So I think we are in a very great moment to all of the listeners and us together, that we are able to shape the future, pick up the right elements and make it in the right way. So I can speak for hours about this, but that's, I feel, the major trends that we observe right now.
Mateusz, you've mentioned something that I, for the first time, understand and see that there's a match. inflation and automation.
Yeah.
That people and companies and leaders find, how to automate things to simply and look at the Excel, and Excel should be green, not red. So it helps some kind to lower the costs of business functioning, right? That's also.
I think in a very basic elements and the first stage of that automation adoption, because at the end of the day, I think none of the businesses is here, to actually cut off the costs, but actually to develop, and I think this is where the connection has to happen, and the certain bridge where you look at the cost side, but you look at the profit side, and you look at actually at the top line. So to be very honest, the last research when we did about where our automation is evolving on the usage from the customer perspective, and where RPA, robots, or other technologies are adopted, they're actually more towards the customer experience, towards the sales departments, toward the capability to impact the top line. But I will give you another comparison that is good to connect between AI and automation, which I feel resonates, and many people understand. Okay, so those two things needs to be connected. So I always rely that AI is a sort of a brain, this big model, this amazing quantum computing power that we have. But to put it into real life, you need to do something. You need to exercise this, and this is where the automation is coming into play. So if you look at the full body and organism, which is the let's call for a second a company, body and the brain needs to work together to be able to move faster, or move more productive, or do another strategic element. So this combination between AI and automation will be probably a body and the brain. So AI with all these capabilities of generative AI, and then the automation, which will be a muscle that will push that great engine. And I feel we are getting there slowly. So more and more use cases are there, because again, reminding all of us, 45 years ago, the language models were existing. They were just practically not usable, or very useful to a very limited portion of and a group of people. So I think this shift happened, and we need to use it in the best way to serve us.
Thank you, Zora. So now is your turn to share with us your trends you see are important, and I am super interested to listen about how you see the quantum computing development here. How this quantum computing will change the way we talk about right now, the business and the future. So the stage is yours.
Thank you. So first, maybe, typically first question is what it is, right? Because people are not so familiar. But today, I think I would rather talk about what it does, because that could better address your question, and we can somehow bridge to what changes we can expect with quantum computing. And many times I'm getting questions whether a quantum computer is just some faster or more advanced, or just better version of classical computer, whether we would replace our classical computers with quantum ones, and what to expect really. And I understand these questions, because if we are looking through the history from analog to digital to AI, right, as we spoke, then we can observe that computer scientists were simply following the same rules, principles, theories. So that's very understandable, but quantum computing is not following these at all. It's a completely new branch of computing. And it all started in early 80s, in the last century, when Professor Feynman at MIT said, well, if you want to understand the nature, if you want to simulate the natural processes, then you just cannot do it just with ones and zeros that you have available with classical computers, because natural processes are following the quantum mechanical principles. So you need to do also something with the computers. You need to have a computer that also is based on these principles. So now we have them, they are reality. And what we can do with quantum computers is to actually represent the data in ways that they mimic the randomness and unpredictability of nature, so that we can really model very accurately the natural systems. And well, you can somehow guess that it would be in the field of physics, biology, chemistry, in life sciences, in different kind of simulations, and of course artificial intelligence as well, because some of the algorithms that are used to build the AI models are a really good fit for quantum computer. And if I would be more concrete, then, for example, if you can develop better drugs, right? But also anything that you can or you need to somehow simulate at the molecular level. So finding maybe better batteries for electric cars, or more efficient LCD displays, or finding new forms of artificial fertilizers, because now we are consuming a lot of natural gas resources for this. And we can help financial institutions to better assess the risk of their investment. We can, for example, help large logistic companies to plan for the routes of their cars or ships, which saves a lot of energy. And so it's really like big problems, and similar to AI, and I really like this parallel with AI, we can even discover maybe new fields as the industry is evolving, new fields where we even do not know that we can use quantum computing for. And the question whether they will replace the traditional computers is no, because they must coexist with traditional computers. So you need some pre-processing and post-processing, and typically the calculation runs between those, so like in iterative manner. And so what we are up to is to make the high performance clusters even more diverse. And because now we observe that there are a lot of CPUs, GPUs, right? And we are adding something that we call QP, or quantum processing unit, in it. And so we are going into the, let's say, era of quantum centric computing. So if you have a project, then the part that needs some specific resource, like, the part that needs GPUs or the part that needs QPUs, can simply run where it runs best. So this is what we are aiming for.
Wow, sounds challenging, like a future, but it's right now. And there is one thing that I would like to discuss connected with AI and quantum computing, about the ethics of growing AI, growing so fast technology development. And Zora, could you start with just your broad experience? How do you see, because Mateusz mentioned that there is EU Act connected with AI. Do you have some your experience, your point of view, where is there a topic about ethics in quantum computing? Because maybe there is no such a discussion. Maybe you know some information. Maybe you have some information.
Well, no, relative to AI, it's basically the same. So it's just another engine to calculate, right? To build the models that are more accurate, or we can even make them doable, right? So it's different way of how to build the AI models, but the questions related to ethics are basically the same. So it is related to AI as such, not that much to the engine, right?
Okay, Magda, I've talked with Kinga, and she told me that you know a lot about ethics and AI, and you have a really strong opinion on it. Can you share with us your opinion about ethics and AI?
Of course, this topic is, hot over the last couple of years, not last year, actually, because of many reasons. And I will tell you why. This was not the topic because I was studying AI many years ago, like it was more than 20 actually. And as Mateusz mentioned, this was there, but actually we didn't have so productive models to do the big things that we can say that our models right now, they are so good that actually they can help in much more, like scenarios. And they are similar, like our brains in a way, yes. I think that from the perspective of ethical, there is a couple of things. First of all, first problem is the privacy. It's about what data we use for training models, how we use the data that we are actually using for these specific scenarios. The
like
second
this,
thing is
the Times
security.
case. Yeah, like the Times case that is having OpenAI with the Times magazine.
Yes. Actually, there is a lot of this kind of issues, that how and Act AI is one of the ways to solve it. But actually, what is very important is that the regulatory will never solve those issues, because, to put this legal requirements, it takes a lot of time. So it's a month's negotiations and so on. It comes to big companies, they need to be responsible for those things, to put kind of regulations inside the companies to assure that they use ethically, they train, they ethically the models as well. And it's not easy task. This is the one thing, privacy, but there is also inclusiveness. So what kind of data we use? It's not about where they come from, but also what kind of data, how inclusive, is there any bias in the data? So think about us, we have biases, all of us. Yes, everyone has some biases based on the experiences and so on. And then we put these biases into the models, and we actually use it and spread the knowledge like in the huge scale. This is harmful. It can be super harmful. So when you go to the bank and you have the one person having bias and treating to you differently, it's different than whole bunch of people which has specific there are some specific thing, they are treated in the same way because of the algorithm. Yes. So this is the second issue. The other thing is also about things which is called alignment. So we how to assure that algorithms, they are doing something which is good for us, that they will not going to harm us, making some decisions that actually are harming people, because they have goal which can be good in some way, but they can harm us in the future. So there is this alignment, and this alignment is like on the high level alignment between human and algorithms, but also it's about alignment on every business. Like, I want this algorithm to do only this from here to this, not more. For example, it was the same with, for example, Bing at the beginning. Yes, that if you ask about, I have this kind of issues, what I should do. So the answer, and even in ChatGPT right now, the ChatGPT is saying, I cannot answer you. But in the past, sometimes they were answering about the questions which they shouldn't answer, because you should go to the doctor, for example, because it was about the diagnosis or something like this. So this alignment is very, very difficult topic, because we can, through this technology, we can harm people because we give the answers which are beyond the responsibility or alignment. Yes, and this is like this is the third things, but there is a more even things, connected with this security things and so on. But I think privacy, this human focus, which is alignment, this inclusiveness, I think they are like the most important.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Mateusz, you've mentioned that we are in such a great moment that we can shape the future. And just like Magdalena said, this is of course shaping the future, but this is also responsibility. So how to act responsibly, how you see the automation development in the ethical aspect.
A big topic. First of all, it's a huge topic, and I would say that reminds me a bit of a debate in the 80s and 70s when the public internet was introduced. So if you remember, there was a couple of in the US Congress debates around this, that the public network as such and openness might open a certain threats, like, I don't know, faster access for the groups of people that are not necessarily looking into the good direction, access to the big portion of information, and etc., etc. And I think what is required, to your question right now, it's that public debate, and I think more voices we have and more opinions, that will shape a little bit how we're going to be acting. Because look at the GDPR and PII perspective in general. There are slightly different approach to this in the US, slightly different approach in the European Union. Yeah, and I think probably the same will happen within the AI. More discussions we're going to have around this, more certain regulations maybe in some countries will be needed or not. It's hard to answer right now. What I know for sure is that, those models and AI itself and automation that is using those models, that definitely there has to be an element, at least of the elements that Magda was mentioning, the privacy, security, data segregation, data privacy, and ability to filter the data. Maybe myself, I don't want to share a certain information, and I don't want this to be existing in a certain models. But those capabilities will come. I'm pretty much sure, and especially if you look at the perspective of European Union, where we are very sensitive to the data privacy, this will come. I'm not necessarily sure if the regulatory elements has to come in play, because how fast they are coming, that's the question mark. The B, if it's always helpful, that's the other question. And if the benefit and the doubt will be at least equal. Hopefully the benefit will be much stronger. But we need to discuss about this, because this perspective is very important, and that's the one thing. The second thing is, I think we are getting into a stage where this is coming into our life, and we need to adopt how to use it, and if we are comfortable to use it or not, and if we are be able to use it in the future in the extended way, or actually this revolution will stop somewhere. I'm a strong believer that we will adopt the AI technology in a very smooth way, still that require a basic elements of security and basic elements of a privacy to be in place. If again, I will maybe look at this from the other big technology trends. It was a little bit the same with the mobile, the threat of a certain groups that, the mobile devices will eliminate the certain other parts of the business. I think we are in the world right now that we need to adopt much faster to changes. And probably, if I look at the technology trends, the adoption is probably my biggest thing, that, are we able to consume the good things, and are we mindful about the threats that are existing? So those two things probably needs to be always in the other side of a coin to look at, wherever we are managing things in the right direction, benefiting, to ourselves into a bigger groups. And yeah, the debate is there. I think the AI Act is just the first element to try to regulate, to maybe try to introduce at least basic principles. But to Magda's point, I think the big players are having a key element and key word here. How they're going to be secure, how they're going to be shaping the cybersecurity elements, how they're going to be introducing the new features. This is very key to the trust. And if we're not going to gain the trust, the market will not pick up something that is, I think, very meaningful to all of us. So I think the debate, it's the first point, and then we will see and take it from there.
There is this interesting sentence that I hope you live in an interesting times. And this is absolutely happening right now. And Zora, but let's talk about the challenges that we need to face when it comes to rollout, to have this quantum computing in our lives, in our business. What's on our road? What is happening there? What we need to have to be ready for it?
To be ready, yeah, in different perspectives, because and that's a very good question, actually, and maybe I will be simplifying a bit. But first of all, I would like to mention that quantum computers are reality. So it's nothing that, we will expect in 10 or 20 years. They are reality. So actually, we had the first real quantum computer in the cloud in 2016. And since that time, we have more than 20 of them available for the users. So it's evolving, but we need to understand that these computers, as I said, are based on different principles, and we are using actually not bits, but and I have to talk a little bit about these basics. We are using actually particles, physical particles, as the unit of information, and we can observe these particles similar to bits in 0 and 1, but we can manipulate them with waves so that they can be in different states, something like combination of 0 and 1. And since these are physical particles, they are very sensitive. And when we are operating them, they are also like impacting each other. They are picking up disturbances from their environment. We still have something that we call noisy devices. So at the same time as we are adding these quantum bits, these particles, we are calling them qubits or quantum bits, we also need to make sure that they can operate for really the time that is needed to do reasonable calculations. And we actually, in the first few years since we published our first computer, we were actually exploring where to use quantum computer, how to write an algorithm, how to program it, because of course you are not going to just put waves into some particles, but you need the programming language. So we started with Qiskit as our program language, which is the open source project. So we really wanted people to join us. And so we developed gradually all these technologies. And for the first time, it was last year, when we came to the point where we joined the, let's say, new era of quantum computing, where we were able to do a computation that you cannot simulate on any, let's say, even the largest supercomputer. And it seems that you need at least 100 qubits for that, because, well, you're not using all of them for calculations, but also for, somehow mitigating these errors and correcting them. So what we are now seeing as the development in the industry is, of course, adding more and more qubits. And this is happening in sort of exponential pace, but also a very important way to make sure that we really are using these qubits effectively. And we have first already, let's say, users that are working on something that they can really use as the result of their efforts. So it's nothing that is coming like in 50 years that we will be able to use them in our daily operation, but the time when we will see the really hybrid clusters is closer than we think.
Thank you. Wow, that sounds really complicated, but I think that in future it will just, in blink of a moment when we see this in action, and everything will sound, practical and just like wow, just aha moment.
What we are getting also to the point where we will see applications. Because same as with classical computers, you don't really need to be an expert, right, to use a computer. And that is also the intention here, that we will have applications that users will be able to use, and they would not even know that they are using. Okay, well, but yeah, it's not going to be that effort that you would be somewhere, like in the beginning of classical computers, white coats and rubber shoes, so that you would enter the room with computers. So it's really something that needs to be practical.
Yeah, thanks. I've been working in tech industry for the last 15 years. And, for me, it's about constant change, constant education, constant learning new things. Mateusz, how you are keeping up with the pace of the technology development? Because even when I think about the answers from our report, is that being updated with the newest technology is on one hand the biggest pros of working in IT industry, but also the biggest cost of it. So how do you be stay updated with it, because you work in so fast changing industry. You know, AI is, as you mentioned, growing exponentially as well, like quantum computing possibilities. How do you learn?
It's a beautiful question, because there is no good answer to it, to be very frank. But I probably need to say that you need to have a little bit of a passion to a technology to be able to get and consume all of that content. We are living basically in this moment where, you know, the information is everywhere, and to be able to consume it is a challenge. But I think, you know, I'm keeping myself up to date by the passion to a technology. So trying to see a wider perspective and trying to understand, you know, I have two beautiful daughters, and I thought the other day, you know, what would be the world that they're going to be living in a few years, in the marketplace, you know, themselves privately, you know, what kind of impact we have on that, what kind of impact I have as a father and working with in the certain industry as well. So, you know, this probably keeps me going, you know, and trying to get as much as possible, you know, outside there. And I learned today from Zora, you know, what is happening around the quantum into a deep dive, you know, and how much we can expect from it. So I think this is pretty much, from my perspective, the passion itself. But I feel this is big trend in general in our generation right now, you know, how to be updated, and where is the true information, where is the false information, you know, where to pick up. And again, getting back a little bit to the previous topic of a trust, I think we all are building this future generation, and people are looking at us as the IT industry in general as the ones that will shape the future. So how trustful we are, what we are doing on a daily basis, it's important as well, because we have an impact on the other parts of the society. But that's, from my perspective, is coming with the passion. So I like to, you know, have a little bit of my hands to be on certain technologies and pick them up. But to be very honest, we are surrounded with the very talented people. So they are spreading the knowledge, at least to me, in everyday discussion. So I'm probably learning the most, not really from the content itself, but from the other people, and experiencing, you know, the way how they use it, the way what they are doing, the customers who are sharing, hey, I didn't know, but I did this and that with your technology. At the beginning was not really the project, but, you know, it pivoted at a certain point of the project into a left, and here we are, you know, it's impactful. So I think this is a little bit about this. This is what you guys doing, you know, Anita, sharing the knowledge, the webinars like this, the meetings, the meetups, and all of those elements are pretty much building the awareness. So yes, I just maybe want to share one element. We had a big topic around the public sector impact in our conference last week in Vegas, and you know, the social impact that we see right now, the automation and AI is having on us as citizens as well. This is another big topic, you know, because we think about the commercial space, but the use cases, the usage, the adoption, what we could see. I can share a couple of examples later on, and from the European customers of UiPath. The way how they use automation and AI is just incredible. You know, the e-services they are rolling out, and etc. It has a very positive trend. So, you know, you can pick this up from a different corners, but at the end of the day, it's something that is in you. You know, a certain interest of getting the unknown. And you know, experiencing, and maybe I have a bit more, and this is how I get into the latest. But do I have the latest? Probably not. You know, it's just too widespread at the technology space. So I believe that there will be even more segregation or specializations. Even if, you know, if I stay for a moment in AI, this is what we think we're gonna see in the future. There's gonna be a generative models and the ones that can have a generic impact, but we will go into a certain specific niches and industries and use cases that probably a much deeper deep dive would be needed for future. This is what we are building into a document understanding space, or a communications mining, or some of the elements that we are very into it. But we will see another players playing into a different fields, because simply you are not able to capture all of the capabilities out there. Yeah, so very few can, and I think that's going to be the so you'll see more experts in a certain niches probably in a few webinars from now.
Absolutely. Like Mateusz said, Strong Women in IT are about leaders and sharing the experience of the leaders. So, Magda, you are one of our Strong Women in IT. Tell me, how you are keeping updated with the newest technologies? How do you learn? how you try to be at the level that you can talk with your clients on the same level. Yeah, so you won't be feeling that you are in the, let's say, in the back of this knowledge that they need.
This is a great question, and Mateusz actually answered this in beautiful way. But I will add maybe some 2 words to this. I think there are 2 skills which are you can train, and they are crucial. One is curiosity, and the other is critical thinking. So I think it's impossible right now to learn like in the past, that you have some certification that you do once a while and you go and you train and you just show I'm certified and I know. So actually you cannot do this. You can do this on top, of course, but in the meantime you need to just, learn more and more, and you cannot do it by yourself, unfortunately, because of this trust and many information, and you need to a little bit, talk with other people and have this critical thinking way of doing this skill. Yes. So for me, it's critical to talk with the others, asking questions a lot. And whenever, we have this kind of discussions and someone is talking about something that I don't know, the first thing I do after, I'm just, checking and what is going on, what I didn't know about this and so on. So it's like agile learning. So you just learn all the time, you don't know, okay, I will check and I will see what's going on. So, and of course you cannot be, like up to date with everything. So with my customers, many times I don't know the answer, we are discussing, actually they are looking for those discussions usually, they are not, of course they need help in some areas where we can be better. So they are asking questions, but also I need to ask them questions. We have kind of discussions and we are working together. And I think in that sense, it's super critical that right now making business, it's partnership. It's partnership with other partner, it's partnership with your customer to really do something together. So it's not like, you will answer the questions, they will ask you and you will deliver the answer. It doesn't work like this. So
okay, so passion, curiosity, critical thinking. Zora, what is in your case? How do you learn about all the changes that is happening, and what the last year gave you? What type of lessons you have from the 2023 when it comes to technology trends and how they are implemented?
Well, if I would stay in the topic, I cannot agree more with both Mateusz and Magda, because, and especially if you are talking about some new technologies, it is very important for AI, and it's very important for quantum as well. You would have sort of a network of people that are using the technology, that are exploring all the options, and that is the learning from each other. So for me, it was really so encouraging that during last year, I saw really an acceleration in adoption of this new quantum technology. It's happening for a while, and by the way, one of the first quantum innovation center that we created in Central and Eastern Europe was in Poland. So you are like pioneers in the Central and Eastern Europe, in Poznań. So that's something that was like, oh wow, I'm so proud, be part of this region. But in 2023, I saw the acceleration. So much more, of these centers, and now really our network of users is growing and growing. We have really not only academic institutions that you would expect, like researchers, academic institutions, but really industrial clients, banks, and so on and so forth. So that's what gave me really, not hope, but really certainty that this technology is going really to make a change, and it's evolving very, very fast. So not only with just hardware being more and more advanced, but also all the software applications, experience from the others. So this is how I learn. I'm always curious when the new center is created, what they are going to do, how they are using it. And when I talk to clients, I'm always thinking how we could practically use quantum computers to do stuff better. So that's really encouraging.
Thank you.
Anita, may I add one thing? Because I think as a technology sector, we should probably, and this is my big topic actually. It's us, and I see many of us are not using the new technologies as well. We talk about it, we read about it, but I think it's on us as well to show a bit more. Zora, to how we're gonna practically move a needle a bit. So I really encourage all of us to get there, click through a few topics and you will have a certain experience. And I think many people right now, and you could see this even at the, it's going to be a challenge for the universities, by the way, a young generation is using the new technologies to leverage their skills. And we need to be prepared on that as well. So I think we need to get there and we need to practice this ourselves, and then the outcome will be there. So the ones who have an access to the biggest database, those guys will be the smartest ones, if we do it in the right way. So leverage technology. I think it's something that we learn from the wide adoption of ChatGPT. I see, for example, the emails coming to my mailbox right now, they're slightly different than a year ago. Much more prepared, much more research, much more, into the topics that probably are close to me. So someone did the homework, and I actually say, okay, you need to spend a time to be able to do so. So I think the technology itself and leveraging that technology will make a difference. So just a big advice: let's go there and try it, and then we can have an opinion.
Yeah, I have one for you. So if you want to try it, you can. Because we offer certain capacity, like I think 127 qubits that you can try for free. So you need to know what you are doing, right? So I mean, although Qiskit is basically the SDK to Python, so if you know Python, then you can pick it up pretty fast. But of course, you need to understand what you are doing. So you need to be able to write an algorithm, and then you can try.
So I will go after Magda advice after the webinar. I will definitely do my research and. I will get there, yeah.
I tried.
See, so not only the audience can learn something from us, but also we can learn something during the webinar. So that's super cool. That's super cool. So to have, when I have the privilege to host the webinars, I have one challenge: how to organize everything, ask those questions that will tell what I wanted to achieve. And I always have the feeling that the 1 hour is not enough. So we have just 6 minutes to finish. So let's have the last round of the questions, which I really regret, because I would like to have you here for a longer time to discuss the trends and the AI and quantum computing changes, because this, in some case, really they are really shaping the future. So let's start with Magda. Magda, when you think about the leaders who are listening to us, what advice connected with technology trends and challenges would you give to the leaders who are listening to us? What type of advice would like to listen if you would last year simply, or simply advices that can help those leaders be more effective at business, but connected with the trends?
So first of all, learning, a lot of learning, but also discussing and having open mind, because I think especially when I'm working with young people, and there is, people are different and I can learn from them. So not hierarchy approach, really learning together, collaboration, what else? And of course, having the approach of really trying and being open to fail. You can win, but you can win or you can learn. So, so I think I like learning. So, and it's good to to try small things, because then the fail is smaller. So it's like small steps, trying new approaches, like, you know, like you have heard about something, so try small steps, trying new technology. It's not about anymore about, you know, like big transformation, you know, that I remember, you know, I'm in IT many years. So I was in my 20s, I was managing the really big project, many millions dollars and so on. And then we were preparing all the project for 6 months. And then there is, you know, like implementation. And there was like a lot of mess, and, you know, like customers, not, you know, the end users, they were not happy and so on. Nowadays it's different, you know, then we have this agility, and you can try, and of course it's also because of new technology and new architecture and the way of working and so on, and many things has happened, that we are here in the place that actually we can adopt things smallly, with small steps. And I think this is the way how leaders should drive the change. Small steps, try if it's working, you know, discuss with the team how they feel about this, and of course learn from the failure.
Great. So be open, small steps, do more small steps, learn from everything what's happened, and test.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Zora, what's your advice to the listeners, to the leaders who are listening to us, connected with trends and challenges? Not necessarily needed to be connected with quantum computing. Just your advices as a leader to leader.
Be brave. I mean, be brave in adopting the technology, even if you are the first one. So, because I believe that if you are one of the first adopters, you might fail in many cases, but if you are brave and you are just pushing it, then you will have advantage. The time will show that you will have advantage, competitive advantage, well, whatever. Your life will be easier, and you will be leader, right? And the others will just do what you already did. I really like these companies and leaders themselves that are brave.
So others will follow your steps.
Yes.
Mateusz, so your question, the answer is this, the question is the same. Your advice as leader to leaders, how to see, how to work, how to grow the businesses in 2024 when it thinks about trends and challenges we face right now.
It's a great question. So I'll try to somehow loop into the main theme of today. But I need to tell you a story. At the last week event, we had the privilege to have on stage right now the board member of UiPath, but previously in many roles, Karen Terrell. She was the CTO and CIOs for the companies like GlaxoSmithKline globally or Walmart, absolutely the largest organizations in the planet. And Rob Benson, our CEO, he actually asked her a question, you know, with the knowledge that we have right now, what would you do differently in the 15 years ago? And I think what she shared, which I'm very into it, and I actually want to share as the closing note, maybe from my side, is to build the diverse and inclusive teams, the teams that are you know around the leader that can advise you looking at those challenges and trends. Because as we just agreed a minute ago, we will never be able to learn everything, you know, what is currently happening. And more diverse team you have, more inclusive you are, if you're building the culture in the right way, you're going to have your teams around you that will help you to survive both crises and the great victories, because you will have the team with you that will share all those elements. And I think there are probably many others great things you can have, but you know, my big learning is this, you know, if you have a strong team, you have a diverse team, you have the team that is, you know, critical thinking and forward thinking with the right mindset, you're going to be able to survive, you're going to be able to succeed as well. So I think I would probably share this as a closing note.
I am speechless because this is a great summary. So we have openness, small steps, be brave, be diverse. Super. So I wish you all the great year. Instead, we have the almost the end of the February, but still, this is the beginning of the year. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for finding the time to be with us. Thank you for sharing what you think about the trends and challenges that we have in business. And thank you for listening to us, because I believe that it was super inspiring discussion. I understand that it was not enough time to talk about all the aspects connected with AI and quantum computing, but I believe that people can find you on LinkedIn and have a virtual coffee or talk about how you see and how you can cooperate, right? Yes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thanks, Anita, for the invitation. I like to thank to all of the listeners and Magda and Zora for the participant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next week, we are going to talk about the employer branding in the hybrid world, which I think is super crucial as well. So thank you for today. Thank you for the evening, and talk to you soon.